Chapter 1: The History of Big Data. Of all the data in recorded human history, 90% has been created in the last 2 years. However, the need to use and interpret such big data has been around for much longer. In fact, the earliest examples of using data to track and control businesses date back 7,000 years, when Mesopotamians used rudimentary accounting to record the growth of crops and herds. Accounting principles continued to improve, and in 1663, John Grant recorded and examined all information about mortality rolls in London. He wanted to gain an understanding of and build a warning system for the ongoing bubonic plague. In the first recorded example of statistical data analysis, he gathered his findings in the book Natural and Political Observations Made Upon the Bills of Mortality, which provides great insights into the causes of death in the 17th century. Because of his work, Grant can be considered the father of statistics. The 19th century witnessed the start of the information age. Modern data was first gathered in 1887, when Herman Hollerith invented a computing machine that could read holes punched into paper cards to organize census data. The 20th century. In 1937, during Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration, the United States created the first major data project to keep track of contributions by more than 3 million employers and 26 million employees under the new Social Security Act. IBM was awarded the contract to develop a punch card reading machine for this immense bookkeeping task. The British developed the first data processing machine in 1943 to decipher Nazi codes during World War II. The device, named Colossus, searched for patterns in intercepted messages at a rate of 5,000 characters per second. This reduced the time required to perform the task from weeks to merely hours. It was a huge step forward. In 1952, the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, was created, and within 10 years, it had contracts with more than 12,000 cryptologists. They were confronted with information overload during the Cold War, as they started collecting and processing intelligence signals automatically. In 1965, the U.S. government decided to build the first data center to store its more than 742 million tax returns and 175 million sets of fingerprints. Employees transferred all those records onto magnetic computer tape that was stored in a single location. The project was later dropped out of fear of Big Brother, but it represented the beginning of the electronic data storage era. Then, in 1989, British computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee developed what eventually became the World Wide Web. He wanted to facilitate the sharing of information through a hypertext system. Little could he know at that moment the impact his invention would have on everyone. Beginning in the 1990s, data was created at an amazing rate as more and more devices were connected to the Internet. In 1995, the first supercomputer was built. It performed as much work in a second than a calculator operated by a single person could do in 30,000 years. The 21st century. In 2005, Roger Mugalis of O'Reilly Media coined the term Big Data, a year after the company created the term Web 2.0. He used the term to refer to a large set of data that is almost impossible to manage and process using traditional business intelligence tools. In that same year, Yahoo created Hadoop on top of Google's MapReduce. Its goal was to index the entire World Wide Web. Nowadays, many organizations around the world use the open-source Hadoop to crunch massive data sets. As more and more social network sites appeared, and Web 2.0 took flight, more and more data was created daily. Innovative startups slowly mined this vast amount of data, and governments also began big data projects. In 2009, the Indian government